friends, it's Miss Drywa. I hope you're all having an amazing day. We're still working with equivalent fractions using multiplication. So we're going to keep going with that. We'll go over numerator, denominators, review, and then we'll do a couple problems together I'll do for you, and then you will have the opportunity to go do a couple problems on your own. All right, we're almost at the end. One more day closer to being a 5th grader. That is crazy, friends. We're so proud of you. All right, so let's get started. Okay. Oops, let's go to the beginning. All right, so our fractions, right? Our numerator is the number on top. Our denominator is the number down below, right? We know this. Numerator tells us how many equal parts are being described, and our denominator tells us how many equal parts there are in the whole thing all together, right? Easy peasy. So now, we have a fraction here that we're going to find the equivalent fraction to, right? And we're using multiplication. And I told you that you can use any number to multiply that you wanted to. Just try to keep between 2 and 5. We don't use 1, and we don't use 0. And anything above 5 gets pretty large. But again, we want you to practice. This is getting used to finding equivalent fractions with multiplication. So, let's get started. I have this fraction here, 3 over 9, right? And I'm going to be using multiplication. Now, I know I'm using multiplication, so let me put my multiplication symbol, right? Easy peasy. Now, I have to decide what number am I going to multiply by. And I'm going to multiply by 2 because 2 is the easiest number to skip count in my opinion. So, I decided on my number, so 3 times 2, and whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. That's the rule, okay? So, I do 9 times 2. I'm going to make my equal sign and make my fraction line. Now I'm all set. Now I can actually do the multiplication. Now my first one is 3 times 2. Now some of my friends might have this memorized, and that's great. So you'll just be able to write the answer. If you don't have it memorized, it's okay, because we have so many different ways to help us, right? We worked with making equal groups or using touch points, skip counting. I'm going to skip count on my touch points. But whatever you need to do is fine. So I'm going to skip count by 2 on my 3 touch points. So 2, 4, 6. So 3 times 2 equals 6. I'm multiplying my numerator, so this goes in my new fraction in the numerator. Now I have to do the bottom, because whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. So now I'm going to do 9 times 2. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to skip count by 2 on my touch points. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. All right, so we can see here that 3/9 is equivalent to 6/18, right? Or 3 out of 9 is equivalent to 6 out of 18. That's it. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? The hardest part is doing the multiplication, but we have practiced that, and we have our different methods, our different strategies to help us get there, right? So let's do another one. Okay, so now we have 3, 6. Again, we're going to use multiplication. So I'm going to put my multiplication sign, and I'm going to multiply by 3 this time. So I'm going to put 3 up here, and whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. Make my equal sign, and I make my fraction line. Now I can actually multiply. I'm all set up and ready to go. So I have 3 times 3. So I'm going to skip count by 3 on my 3 touch points. So 3, 6, 9. So 3 times 3 equals 9. So my next numerator is going to be 9. Now I go below, and whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. So now I do 6 times 3, and I'm going to skip count by 3 on my 6. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So now I have 3/6 is equivalent to 9/18, right? Or 9 out of 18. Now, to get there, you could have used equal groups, right? We could have made 3 groups of 3 in them, 6 groups of 3 in them, and count them up. Whichever works for you. But either way, we got there using multiplication. And that's the skill we're working on this week that we're going to continue for today and tomorrow, right? Finding equal groups through multiplication. So now we know 3/6 is equivalent or equal to 9/18. And remember, it's not the numbers. I know 3 is not equal to 9, and I know 6 is not equal to 18. But when you put these in fraction forms, the amount is equal, right? Like we saw last week with the circles and the rectangles. Okay, so let's do one more. We have 3/5 now. We're going to find an equivalent fraction to 3/5. So using multiplication, so I'm going to put my multiplication sign. Remember, whenever I do the top, I have to do the bottom. And I'm going to multiply by 5 this time. I know some of my friends are good at their 5 times tables. Equal and my fraction line. So now I'm going to multiply by 5. So remember, you can figure this out in different ways. You can figure this out in your equal groups or skip counting. I'm going to skip count by 5 on my 3 to start off with. So 5, 10, 15. Right? Then I have to do my bottom, and whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. So I'm multiplying by 5 again. So I'm doing 5 times 5. So now I'm going to skip count by 5 on my 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So 3 over 5 is equivalent or equal to 15 over 25. All right, friends? So, great job. Remember, pick a number that's easy to multiply for you. If you want to challenge yourself and pick a harder number, you may, because this is what we're doing this week. We're just getting used to making equivalent fractions. Okay, because you'll see fractions a lot more in 5th grade, which you're almost there. And just remember, whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. Great job, friends. Have an amazing day. Bye.